So we are going to review chapter 0. It's a review of algebra 1. I only do this review because it's been a long time since you were in algebra 1. And a big part of algebra 2 is being able to understand what I'm saying. Unfortunately, today is one of those days where you have to learn a lot of vocab. There are words I'm going to use over and over and over again in this class, and I need you to know what they mean. So the first two vocab words are pretty easy. Domain and range. You guys have known about domain and range for a really long time. The domain is the set of all the first coordinates. It's the x values. And again, if you don't want to write the word coordinates twice, write x values. You can modify the definitions I'm giving you to be helpful to you. If writing down that formal definition doesn't help you, but what I said makes sense, then write down what I say. The range is the y values. It's the second coordinate in an ordered pair. Good? Okay. So then you have a coordinate plane. So a coordinate plane is the intersection of the horizontal and vertical axes. The origin is the point at which these axes meet. The origin occurs at 0, 0. So the origin occurs at 0, 0. Is that better? The quadrants are the division of the coordinate plane into 4 spaces. So there are 4 quadrants. Quadrant 1 is right here. Quadrant 1 is made up of the positive ordered pairs. So quadrant 1 is the positive ordered pairs. Quadrant 2 is to the left of quadrant 1, and it is made up of the negative positives. So the x values are negative and the y values are positive. Quadrant 3 sits below quadrant 2. And it is made up of the negative ordered pairs. And quadrant 4 sits to the right. And here the x values are positive and the y values are negative. All right, then we have a relation. A relation is simply a set of ordered pairs. And we'll look at an example of a relation on the next slide. A mapping illustrates how each element of the domain is paired with an element of the range. A mapping illustrates how each element of the domain is paired with exactly one element in the range. And again, on the back side of your page, you will see an example of a mapping. Now here's one of the most important terms today, a function. A function is a relation in which each element of the domain is paired with exactly one element of the range. Okay, so what does that mean? What that means in standard, basic, layman terms, whatever you want to call it, it means that for every x, there is only one y. Which even simpler means that x, x does not repeat. For every x, there is only one y, or basic understanding, x does not repeat. So in your relation, the x value does not repeat. Okay? I know that was a long one. I feel like I'm breathing back coffee. Yeah, you feel that too? I don't know. I want to like go brush my teeth. Yeah, I just looked in my drawer. I think I have some in my car. Maybe taking a walk out there later. All right. Next. I've also not done that. I've not chewed gum under a mask. I'm not sure how I feel about that. Is it weird? Some say yes, some say no. All right. Because you're chewing gum. See, you need the little nose bridge. Did you pinch it on your actual nose? No, like on the top of your bridge. Like pinch the metal bar on your nose. Like actually pinch it. There you go. It still comes down. Yeah, I wonder if you got the. Have you seen the ones where like you put a bar behind your neck and it holds it on so it doesn't hurt your ear? Oh, I love them. You're making that face. I don't know if I have one with me. I think I do. It's like a. I don't know. My kiddos use them. I don't have one in here. It's like a little plastic bar, and it's like the back of a. I'm gonna pause this so they're not in range of the relation. So the domain is the x values. When you write domain, you have to make sure that you put a. I'm sorry, my hand hit the iPad. You have to make sure that you put the bracket. So it gets a bracket at the beginning of the domain. So this one is 4, -7, 2, and 5. It's all those x values. The range are the y values. So -2, 6, -3, and 7. The order you put them doesn't matter. I have a tendency, except from this example, to write them from least to greatest. Doesn't matter. Name the quadrant in which the point is located. So this is a positive, negative. If you think back to the chart, the x values are positive, the y values are negative in quadrant 4. Awesome. Okay, so this is just an add-on to the last one. State the domain. So this is an example of a relation. It's just a set of ordered pairs. Domain, I'm going to go back to writing down here, is 0, 2, 1, -2. Range, here's where you got to be careful. We do not repeat a number in the set of orders. So even though the range has -3 twice, we only write it once. Now, does this pass the rule? For every x, there is only one y. Do the x values repeat at all? No, the y values do, but that's okay. So yes, this is a function. Okay? This is a table. So this is a relation set up as a table. The domain is the x. So it's 1, 2, 3. The range are the y's, because the x is the input, y is the output. So that's 3, 4, 7. Do any of the values in the x column repeat? Nope. So therefore, this is a function. Is that good? Any questions on that? Okay, this example right here, remember I told you we were going to do an example of a mapping? This is what we call a mapping. So this is an example of a mapping. You can rewrite a mapping as a relation. So the first number is the x. The arrow tells you what it goes to. So this would be like -2, -2. First number is the x. The arrow tells you what it goes to. So that would be like the ordered pair 0, 3. And then you could keep looking through this. So domain and range are easy. The domain is the x for the first column. So -2, 0, 4, 6. Range is the second column. So -6, -2, 3, and 5. This one is really easy to tell if it is a function or not, because you look for if any of these have more than one arrow. So you'll notice that -6 has 2 arrows. That means that -6 repeats, therefore not a function. And the last one, the x values come from the x coordinates going straight up and down. So my first point here is at -1. So you have the domain point -1. The second one is on the axis, which is 0. Then you have one at +1. And you have one at 1, 2, 3, 4. The range are the y coordinates. So you start in the bottom row. So that's at 1, 2, 3, negative 3. Then you have a point at negative 1, 0, and 2. Were there any blue dots that sat like on top? So here, if there's a blue dot there and a blue dot here, that would not be a function because there would be a repeated x. But since that's not the case, this is a function. That is all for today. So the homework assignment that goes with this is on page P5. That textbook is both on Moodle and on Microsoft Teams. So actually, if you go into Teams, which let's see how good I am. You go into Teams and you go to Algebra 2. What you should notice is under Files, I made a folder called Textbook, and then you can just open up the textbook chapter on there as well. So you can use Moodle or Teams. I know a lot of you like Teams more, so I'm not going to put everything on both, but I am going to try to put as much as I can on both. I also need to keep my own sanity.